Monte Morris probing and misfiring. And Ingles will push into the front court. By Conley again, wide open three. And that's going to necessitate the timeout right away.
Combination of the players actually executing their offensive sets to perfection to get the kind of high-quality shots we're looking for.
Monte Morris with a little runner, 20. Does Denver have some type of comeback here in the second quarter?
We always talk about, you said it last game, and coaches were talking about how do we close out quarters? How do we close out the half? You're not going to close it out.
Giving up time. And here's Murray on the floor balance, missing the layup. Porter Jr. to pick it up.
And good call, because that's that turnover, the air ball in the corner, the defense wasn't set getting back. Yes, the shot was missed by Murray. No matchup on Porter Jr. Able to get a layup inside.
I cheated. It's in Phil Jackson's book. The lob to Gobert again. Rudy stepped through, draw the defense, open three, off iron. And Jeremy Grant unable to hit it. Here comes Clarkson. You can play free and easy when you're up 20. Clarkson attacking. Jokic met him. See Denver scrambling on D, but the man closest to the basket is the one who's open. Go
defense of the Nuggets.
So down 22. Interim goals for Denver. Try to get to single digits before halftime. Get to something manageable. And Jokic, his second bucket.
1A, 1B player, however you want to say it, for the Nuggets. It's a little bit more challenging when your top player is so unselfish offensively to kind of just go get it. You see it in spurts, but you just don't see it consistently with Jokic because he's such a team player.
And Clarkson just parked. Jamal Murray missing from three. Gobert another rebound. Gobert's going to have a double-double by halftime. Clarkson dropping it off again. Oh, Rudy Gobert's got 20 off. Jamal Murray kick it out to Michael Porter Jr. That pretty three-point stroke, best among all rim. And it's up to Jokic on this end to deal with his center matchup. And Conley. Utah is a mission
to the playoffs. It's all about matchups. And right now, the Utah Jazz, they match up, as we see, extremely well.
Jokic for three.
With the second matchup, personnel-wise, against, even though they're the 6th seed, against this Nugget team, and they're able to exploit some mismatches that they do have.
Yang on the drive and flipping it up and in. Well, what Utah wanted, and out of the pack. Clarkson. Transition three, and Gobert kept it alive.
Yeah, had the advantage because of the mismatch in transition with Murray trying to block out Gobert inside.
Donovan Mitchell likes that Porter Jr. matchup. His three-point stroke has been a incredible game in the playoffs. It's the easy scoring.
What the ease, but the efficiency, because he's not taking tough shots. That's why he's become more efficient since we've been here in the bubble, in particular in the playoffs against this Denver team.
Millsap three. And anything to stem. You keep looking up and you're saying, is it really 22? Yes, it is. The Yang catch and shoot. He drops in the three. And so for Gobert, he owned the early part of this game. Denver finished on an 11-3 run. Jokic a very deep three. And Denver could rebuild this a little bit.
Side of the court, you're paying close attention to him. You hedge in now that corner. You're in this line of sight, he'll get it to you.
Ingles stopped by Conley. What a game.
Speaking of which, a little bit more, knowing that Porter Jr. can get back in the game and give you offense.
Conley, off iron, no look pass to Jokic. Better pass to Grant in the corner. Beautiful ball movement by Denver.
Love it, love it. Get out and go. And again, you can hit Jokic while he's on the move because he's intelligent enough to know to get himself on balance and then make the play.
Donovan Mitchell has had phenomenal third quarters. Jeremy Grant, Jokic has a great pass. Couldn't make the shot. But Royce O'Neal with the rebound. O'Neal again in the middle of the break. Millsap very attentive to Ingles as the trailer. Royce O'Neal catch and shoot. Ingles fouled him from the baseline. after the wrist surgery.
And it took some time, too, for the teams to kind of make the adjustment. Beautiful middle pick and roll again to Jokic. When you're trying to figure out how he's fit in, because he attracts so much from the defense. Now, you on offense have to make the adjustment. And speaking of which, how about Mike Conley coming back in?
Royce O'Neal, you gotta like the way Utah has been built, and if they had Bogdanovich, it's frightening to think of what the Jazz would be capable of. Jeremy Grant backing it up. That's a confident stroke as he hits
that half a step down early. That allowed him to recover to get that block.
He stayed out of foul trouble, so Gobert has been a menace to the Denver defense. Torrey Craig rattling one home.
And like you talked about before, to see if we can pick up a couple of fouls on Rudy.
Mitchell missing. Gobert fighting and getting an extra opportunity. Jordan Clarkson. Use that O'Neal screen. Clarkson trying to get downhill on Monte Morris. And there's Gobert again. Why are they double teaming
the ball? But what you talk about is what you do, on and off the court.
Oh, Jokic threw it right to Mitchell, the former slam dunk champion. Right hand tomahawk. He got crushed in the second half of game 2. You've been to the line twice the whole game. Utah shot 20. And you're down 32 points. And the series will be 2-1, but it's going to feel like you're down 10-1.
Well, but even in that first game, Utah.
And Mike Conley knows, so you can just see every possession. Let's use some clock. This one, there's no shot clock. The quarter's ending. Just manage the game. Got the big lead. He's been in the league long enough to know how to handle things. Conley playing beat the clock, and that typifies the afternoon for the Utah Jazz. Welcome back.
With this, I think the confidence to get right back in the starting lineup.
I think you just made a great point. I mean, if he comes back and they're down 0-2, and it's more the other people that'll be in the mix. So how the voters look at it kind of remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of bigs always have the edge, so to speak. And also, not just the block shots, it's just his presence influences and dictates a lot on the defensive end that other guys can't do. Wasn't there something that said that Marcus Smart wasn't in the top, wasn't included in that?
Bol. One of the greatest seasons ever is where Michael Jordan averaged 38 and was named Defensive Player of the Year in the same year.
Yeah, extremely difficult to do both, but as a professional, as what you look at it, Marcus Smart is one of those guys that year in and year out.
All right, Tucker's got 5.
Good shots, too.
Yeah,
it's not like he's just hunting for shots. And, again, that's very important at the end of the game is that even though you're in the second game, you have the blowout, continue to kind of run your offense a little bit and take the shot when you're open.
So now, I'm going to say this before the next basket as the shot clock is barely beaten by Tucker. Look at the Utah scores in the 3 games. 125, 124, 124. They're right there. Celtics Sixers are on the way. Clippers Mavericks. We got a great slate on TNT in the bubble this evening on the air ball. 120 in the 3 games by the Jazz. Problem is, Denver's not scoring 135. And it is